Everyone has reasons why they play video games. To escape reality, to relax, to take a break from everyday life, to compete, or just to immerse themselves in another world. According to the Entertainment Software Association, 61% of Americans, totaling in 190.6 million people, play video games for hours every week. And that's just America. Gamers spend countless hours a week getting lost in their favorite RPGs, going head-to-head with each other online, or living a second life in a digital universe. With all of that time spent and with all the joy you get from gaming, wouldn't it make sense to dedicate a space in your home to it? I'd like to think so. And so I did. Today I'll show you how I started with a complete bare bones gaming and streaming setup that looked something like this and turned it into this. If you've been around for a while on my channel, you probably remember these days. I was a new dad in a new house with a huge unfinished basement and a dream for the ultimate gaming and streaming space. But everyone has to start somewhere. I had one single theater chair, a big ass TV, and lights sitting on top of a high chair box. I had green screen rigged to the ceiling, held down by hockey pucks. Yes, hockey pucks.
What are you looking at, you hockey puck?
I was reading chat from an iPad on a side table where I actually had my mic arm also secured. This setup was pretty rough, but it was only beginning. Now I have an entire basement dedicated to playing and streaming video games. Over 1,000 feet of a gaming sanctuary where I spend hours a week sweating it out in lobbies or exploring unknown universes. Universes. This video won't be a tour of the space. If that's what you're looking for, I've linked my setup tour video in the description below. Check it out when you're done here. Today, I'll be giving you tips and sharing all the things I learned while I transform my space. If you're here, you're probably interested in creating a gaming space of your own. And maybe you even want to stream. And I hope this video will help you with that goal. So let's get started. Tip number 1, find inspiration. Take inspiration from other streamer spaces, search for gaming spaces in Google, and start to envision what your space looks like and what screams you. I took inspiration from streamers like King Athalion or Not Your Parents GNS, Jowo, Senpai Gaming. Whether it was tech they used, design ideas and aesthetics, or camera angles, it all contributed to the final vision. Another thing I did was save pictures of setups I liked in a folder on my desktop. All of this starts to help you form a vision in your mind, which leads us to the next tip. Tip number 2, design it. Get it on pixels, paper, something, anything. Just get it out of your head. I actually did this a few different ways. First, I took pictures of the spaces with my phone, even before the basement was finished, and on the phone I just kind of scribbled the ideas I had on the picture. This helped me establish a basic layout, and after that, I recreated the layout in Sketchup. Sketchup allows you to create a 3D layout and place objects in it like desks, PCs, TVs, chairs, and even art. You can really get a high fidelity idea of your space to scale with SketchUp. I've linked SketchUp and a great tutorial resource for it below in the description if you want to go that route. If you just want to draw a rough sketch like on a piece of paper with a pen or something, that's great too. Just whatever you do, get it out of your head. Just get it into something that you can like show someone. You know what I mean?
Nope.
Tip number 3, plan according to purpose. I knew I wanted a home theater where I could both play video games and watch movies in. I also knew I wanted a streaming space that felt personal and fun for viewers to watch. So I dedicated part of the basement to the theater and part of the basement to streaming. Seems pretty simple, right? But it didn't stop there. I wanted the ultimate freedom in where I chose to play games, which meant being able to play any game from any platform in both spaces. In order to achieve this, I ran conduit through the walls and ran 40-foot HDMI cables through it. This allowed me to play games wherever I want. I even have conduit running from the place where the future arcade cabinet will go to this streaming space, and it's actually going to go right there. That's where the arcade cabinet is going to be, back behind me. And there's conduit running through the wall, through the ceiling, all the way down to over here. And that will allow me to stream while playing games on the arcade. So I defined the purpose of the space and I laid the foundation for that. And for this, it could mean anything, really. It could mean wanting to be able to play games at your desk and stream, and then later turn your TV so that you can play video games while you're laying in bed. It could also mean planning a space for both work and play. Whatever you do, just define the purpose for your space and make sure you're laying out the groundwork for it before you do anything else. Tip number 4 is overcompensate. Now that you have a plan, a layout, and a purpose, it's time to start thinking about what you'll need to achieve all this. What was that? Was I like caressing my fingers?
Don't cry. Shop.
For me, that meant things like power outlets, lighting, Cat 5 cables. For all of these things, I overcompensated. Here's an example. Not only did I add more outlets to the basement, but I also added these power strips to my desk that gave me 12 outlets and 6 powered USB ports. I didn't need these at first, but now I have almost all of them filled. As the space grew, I added more things, and so did the need for outlets. That's why I overcompensated. For planning your space's resources, less is not more is more. Tip number 5, you will run into issues. In the early 20th century, there was an art movement called Dada, or Dadaism. They used chance, accident, and improvisation in their artworks. Some art pieces would become damaged when moving from exhibition to exhibition. The artists were actually never mad about this when it happened. It was just part of the art process and part of that art piece becoming finished. So not everything is going to go according to plan with your gaming and streaming space. It's going to feel like a big deal when it doesn't. I promise it's not. Just take it in stride and see whatever constraints you run into as part of the setup. So less darn and more dada. If my art history teacher from college sees this video, she is going to be so stoked and realize I was actually listening. Tip number 6, plan out your purchases. Don't feel like you need to get everything all at once. I could have done this, but I enjoy being married. I had a set amount of money that I could spend each month, so I made a list of all the purchases I wanted to make to fill the space with TV, monitors, PC parts, lighting, shelving, keyboard, mouse, all the things. The more I bought, the more my setup evolved and grew over time. If you go back to my older streams or my clips, you can progressively see how I'm buying new things and upgrading my setup over time. Every year it grew little by little. It was all planned out to be purchased at different times and in different weeks. Be patient with your setup's growth and make wise purchases. You'll get to the finish line, I promise. Okay, so that was a lie. You'll get to a place where you'll be happy with your gaming sanctuary, but you'll never be finished. And that's a good thing. You're going to be constantly changing and evolving this space because you love it. I'm not even close to finished with this setup yet, and I've got a long list of improvements, with the most recent being installing that arcade machine I mentioned to you earlier. I'll be sharing a video about all of this in the near future, so make sure that you can subscribe so you can continue to follow me on this journey with building my dream gaming and streaming setup. That's all I can think about for now for tips to help you design and build your dream gaming setup. If I think of anything else, I'll share them in YouTube Shorts or Instagram posts or TikTok. Is there anything I missed or didn't cover that you'd like to know about? Let me know in the comments below, but please don't yell at me. Thanks again for watching and supporting the channel. I appreciate it more than you'll ever know, and I'll see you on the next one.